What's going on, ladies and gents, and welcome back to another Tuesday edition of our bi-weekly market updates. Last week our schedule got thrown off a little bit. We were traveling to conferences, and our fearless leader Jan was still at fishing camp. But we are all back. We got the whole crew together today. What's going on, gents? How you feeling? Had a little break away from the markets, get a little dip here. What's everybody feeling? How are we bearish? Are we bullish? Are you scared? Are you FOMO? What's going on?
It's game over. It's all over, bro. Nah, I feel good. I think we're finally getting that dip we were looking for, and things don't look overly bad. It was nice to have a nice little week away from the markets there, and now coming back to things. Overall, not
so
too
what do you think it is like that? Because this dip's nothing. I mean, we ran up to $124,000, and we dipped. We're 10% off the high after running up 40%. Perfectly normal. What's got people panicking? Are they just trying to get attention on crypto Twitter? Is it the timing of the cycle that we're kind of late in the cycle? Like, in my opinion, there's really no reason at this point for people to be calling the cycle being over. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on why are we seeing so much negative bearish energy right now?
I mean, I think people are just schizo, and if you're listening to the public, you're bound to get wrecked. Like, the public is always wrong. Like, there's never been a time where the public's ever been right. So that's one. So you should just ignore that noise right away. Second, the reason why the market dumped is because, one, we came up to a lot of resistance level, right? Like, we talked about these like Fib extensions, yada yada. And then secondly, we had the FOMC. We already knew rates weren't going to be cut. I don't know why people were saying rates were going to get cut. People are stupid. Don't listen to them. And then Powell's speech essentially is what everybody's sitting and waiting on. And essentially he's like, look, we're not going to be cutting rates in September, most likely. Or at least he said that he doesn't have any plans for it. So that's kind of spooked the market, obviously, because, everybody is waiting for these rate cuts. But it seems like more and more so that that's not going to happen. And then thirdly, the tariff stuff went live. And so that caused a bit of, panic in the market as well. Because again, like, all these countries are getting slammed with these tariffs now. And everything was waiting for this kind of like first week window of August. Outside of that, I think most of the negative news and stuff is kind of over. So I don't see why people are screaming like, oh, this is it, done. Seems like people just kind of flip-flop based on, just looking at the candlesticks. Another thing, too, is that I know there's like some OGs that are like, kind of clipping their portfolio. So I think that was partly another reason why maybe some of the crypto Twitter was kind of spooked, because a lot of big players and a lot of these OGs are kind of selling off their portfolio here, or at least they were last week. And so I think a lot of that just kind of all combined into this, snowball effect. But I don't know. I'm not too worried still. I think we're still okay.
I think one reason is also the ETF flows. Like, if you look at the last day's ETF flows, it's been a lot of minus. But this is totally normal. Like, we need these dumps to get good positions. I don't think this is the top yet. I think August, September is always like this, very red months. And actually, August is very, very, very volatile. Like, if you look at the previous years, it's always like this. But yeah, like, what's happening in the US with the FOMC and with the Fed? I don't know. Like, now when the job numbers came out and people are quite spooked, like, hey, there's actually no jobs anymore. But yeah, bar chart, good to see. But yeah, like, actually, like, I've been away. I was taking some time off, but even here in Finland now, they're reporting like mass deportation of jobs. Like, there's no jobs. What do you do?
Damn, that's not good. Like, people want retail to come in to buy stuff, but how are they going to buy if they don't have jobs and income? That's going to make things hard.
Yeah, like, I don't know if it's the same in US, but at least the youth unemployment in Europe has skyrocketed. Like, There's no jobs.
Damn.
Like, what do you do? Like, what did I do? There's no money.
Yeah, I mean, you just all you got to do is just buy meme coins, I guess. Hope for the best.
In
Yeah.
those trenches,
But to be
son.
honest, like I'm quite surprised. Like all this bullish news about the crypto law that came on in the U.S.
Yeah.
government, I think that's super bullish. Like we have actually the SEC now coming and saying like, hey, we need our own crypto law and all this bullish news. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like I think TradFi and cryptos are finally like merging together, like very hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What? Before we get too much deeper into any news, what are the charts looking like?
Yeah, I mean, we did some good technical damage. So, we came into that resistance zone and then we were just kind of like ranging for a bit. We do have these like triple tops technically confirmed, right? M's are pretty bad. M's are not what you want to see. So we actually did break down. We lost these moving averages. So we lost a lot of this bullish support levels, but we came right into this 38.2 zone. 38.2 first stops are typically where you're going to see markets come down to and park itself and pretty much try to form some kind of structure around this area before setting up either a next leg up, or if the trend is over truly, then we should technically just lose these levels here. So this 38.2 level is somewhat critical here for, if we are to see a continuation. So right now we're just consolidating. We are just probably going to have to range again, just like kind of how we did back here, just kind of go walk back and forth, back and forth. Right now, what I did notice is that this is the original double top level right here, this neckline. We did just come right up against it and looks like we are failing again. So this could have been just like a reload into this continued short perhaps, because technically we are in a downtrend of this structure, right? Until we start forming some kind of W, we are still in this kind of bearish momentum for now. And, that's okay. We just have to kind of wait and just see how things develop here. So for me, I think right now we just have to wait and see how we hold this level. Ideally, like I said, we print some kind of double bottom. If we don't, then maybe we have to come down further, maybe retest this original breakout. So this is like a pretty strong structure from that previous bottom. So if we lose it, then we might have to come back down, maybe retest this area. And then if that doesn't hold, then obviously we have the reload zone just slightly below, right? And generally for me, I always really like buying in these boxes. So when you got that 61.8 to 78.6 range, those are typically where I like to look for longs. So if we can get to that area, great. I know a lot of people will probably panic as prices come down that low, but I think that's naturally a healthy correction, especially when you're kind of just like looking at this current range that we have here. The ultimate low, I would look against that candle body low there. That lines up pretty perfectly with my 88.6 sniper fib level. That's usually your last kind of final defense. Usually when institutions and smart traders are going to step in and try to buy, because that's pretty much your cheapest range, cheapest level in your range that you can kind of aim for. Prices don't always go there that low, but if it does, then so be it. I'll definitely be hunting some bids there. And momentum wise, there wasn't any like bearish divs, so that's always a good sign. I think it's just mostly just resetting that fact that we were very overbought. So now that condition has been reset, so we can technically start getting back some buy setups, hopefully soon, as the market starts developing some structure. We also have a buy signal and the hash ribbon signal. These generally are very strong signals to the upside. They usually take, anywhere from like a week to a few weeks sometimes. But the fact that we had the buy signal come in, I am still very bullish. The Jan barometer also still points to an uppy August. We're supposed to technically still have an uptrend all the way up until September, October. So I think what we're seeing is just like a healthy little correction, little pause, reset, and then hopefully we can kind of continue on back to the uptrend. So That's what I see on Bitcoin for now. Don't see quite any setup or trades to take in any direction just yet, but waiting for those consolidations once again. Ethereum's looking same thing. We came right up against a chaos level, 8.77, as well as an 88.6 on the top side. So there's a lot of resistance here. We pretty much just came right into it, tagged it, failed, created a double top structure, failed. But the good thing about ETH is actually held as 30 SMA, which is this purple line. So we talked about kind of seeing a little bit of a moving average sandwich here. So now I think right now we again, like just like on Bitcoin, we have to wait for some kind of W until we get the double bottoms. I can't justify any longs. If anything, it just looks like we're just kind of retagging the original breakdown, and maybe people are going to be probably reloading shorts here. Just my imagination. As we still have this 38.2 level that we haven't tagged yet as well. So mostly just waiting to see, whether we get structure first or we get some kind of tag of the levels here. But it's the same thing. We don't have any bearish divs just yet on the MACD, so that's always good. But we were quite overbought on the momentum signal, which is starting to get its reset and stuff. So there was a bear div on the RSI. But again, I think that will slowly reset itself as this kind of consolidates here. So
I don't know.
Hopefully,
I think ETH looks very strong here, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, definitely looks bearish in a way. Like I said, double tops are not what you want to see. This looks like it was just a retag of that original breakdown. So I do see people trying to jump on some shorts here again. But we really just have to kind of wait and see how things consolidate. So I am monitoring the 30-minute charts, just kind of seeing if maybe we can get these little W's on the smaller time frames. And then maybe we can kind of produce some kind of, swing trade on the lower time frame here. But for now, I think it's best to just hold off and wait for clearer structure. And then obviously with ETH and, Bitcoin looking a bit sluggish, altcoins are going to also kind of get a bit of a smack here. We had a pretty decent run. And now things are coming back down into levels. So instead of people, panicking, being all like bearish, should get more excited on buying things on discount, right? So now the trick is to look for names that are, coming down into reload zones, right? Your 61.8 to 17.6s. And then you want to look for either bullish divergence, oversold conditions, and then structure like double bottoms. So kind of like on pump here, right? We got that massive breakout. We got the dump, came right into the reload zone. We got some double bottoms working. And, we were quite oversold there as well. So that's what I'm looking for right now in terms of like a lot of these altcoins. As things start kind of coming back into levels of value, if we can start forming some kind of structure and stuff like that, that would be ideal. So I am looking the index right now. I am hoping that these can start turning into these little W's again. Because once you get those, then, off we go again. But until then, just be a little cautious on, jumping into stuff too fast here.
Yeah, I think I've been looking at Aptos during my holiday quite a lot. It's
Aptos, yeah.
all-time low. Their DEX DEX volume has been going up. Their wallets have been going active. I don't know. Looks like a good time to buy. Obviously, not the financial advice.
I like it. Like I said, like the best thing you can do right now is like go to the bottom of the range, right? Go to the top of the most recent high, and then draw your reload zone. So if you look, we are technically within the reload zone, and wouldn't you know, the market technically bottomed here. Or it didn't bottom, but it's held, right? It comes right into our zone.
All-time low. It's like on all-time low. If you look at the weekly, if you go very long time, this is like the bottom of the bottom.
Yeah, sorry, my chart's not loading for some reason. There we go. Yeah, it's very low. Like you're better off buying down here than buying shit up here, right?
Yeah,
and it's only a matter of time before this thing does kick off. Because again, we actually had this like really big weekly W confirmed here. So this is just like what we're seeing is just like a retest of this original low. And so if we can start printing that W, like I said, like within this box here, it'll probably be a decent trade. So I'm waiting to see some kind of double bottom. We already kind of got the, this side of the W. We're just missing this side of the W now. So yeah, if you can find like trades that are within this reload zone, you're getting the double bottoms, you got the oversold conditions, and you got bullish divergence, you got yourself a setup, mate. And that's what we're looking for.
Giddy up. Well, yeah, I think the overall message: quit flooding, start looking for setups, start looking to deploy some cash here.
Yeah.
Because as soon as Bitcoin starts ripping again, the same people that were bitching are going to be bitching still, because they're going to be bitching about missing the bottoms, about not being fully deployed, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
don't let
stay focused. Don't lose hope. It's always, you gotta always like trick your brain and be like, you want to buy down markets and not up markets, right? You want to be selling into the up markets, and yeah.
Oops. Sorry. There we go. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, it's all good. I'm pretty much done. I was just checking the equities charts for myself. Just seeing how equities are doing. So. But overall, I mean, I don't think it's we're over just yet. So,
all right. Well, I think the biggest news, and we kind of mentioned it already here, is so we got the FOMC meeting about a week ago now. Powell being very bearish as usual. No rate cuts in July. No plans to cut rates in September. If you're not aware, there is no potential. There's no FOMC meeting in August. And just yesterday, just a few days after that, now the poly market has an over 80% chance of rate cuts in September. And Goldman Sachs saying we expect the FOMC to deliver 3 consecutive 25-point basis cuts starting in September. So almost, maybe 75 basis point cuts before the end of the year. I've even seen people talking we're going to get some sort of massive cut in September, 50 basis points or more. Now, what's flipped the script here in just under a week? Well, this is why. Job report numbers down 258,000 revisions for May and June. Now, this is not uncommon. This is a very common tactic that the powers that be will use. It's really hard to trust any of the numbers we get from whether that's inflation numbers, CPI, the GDP numbers, jobless numbers. There's so many ways these numbers can be manipulated. And if you pay attention, if you look back, typically it's not this quickly, but about 6 months out, they will go and they will revise those numbers up, down, or to wherever it was closer to accurate. This is a little shocking. This is far more than they usually adjust these numbers. So, I mean, 144,000 down to 19,000, 147,000 down to 14,000. Like, that's not a small fuck up. Like, that's a 10x, a 10x exaggeration of the job numbers. After that comes out, now everybody's going, oh shit, okay. If, because the whole reason Powell said he isn't cutting rates is because the job markets are doing well. We don't need to cut rates, right? We're still worried about, potential inflation, and job market's doing well. So why would we cut rates right now? Well, now it turns out those job numbers are horseshit. Now everybody's panicking saying, oh, they're going to have to cut rates in September by at least 25 basis points, where, 258,000 jobs are completely bullshit, phony baloney, non-existent. So very, very going to be very interesting to see what Powell says next time he gets on air. I don't know when the next time he's going to show us his beautiful smile is, but obviously I believe September 19th is the next FOMC meeting. So a lot going to be changing in between now and then. Going to be a lot of speculation. I imagine a lot of volatility in the markets, both traditional and crypto, as we get closer to those, the FOMC meeting, and people continue to, throw out numbers. I've heard as high as an entire 100 basis points, cutting an entire point in September. I don't think that's very realistic. That'd be insane. Markets would absolutely go ballistic overnight if that happened. But 50 basis points, probably not out of the question. Definitely possible. So, I think for the rest of August and into September, especially, I think towards the end of this month and beginning of next month, be ready for some volatility in the markets, probably to the upside, but we'll see.
Hopefully to the
obviously don't. Yeah, obviously don't trust the government with any numbers.
No, I mean they were doing this with inflation.
Again.
Yeah, they did this with inflation and with the CPI numbers and with job numbers going into the elections last year. They'd wait till, because the news cycle is 15 minutes, right? This story comes out, oh, jobs are doing great. Well, in 6 months, no one remembers that those numbers were there. So they quietly go adjust them. It gets no publicity. No one's the wiser. They keep on with whatever narrative they want to push. And they can do this, to the upside or the downside, again, to bend the markets to what they want. So always keep that in mind. It's a complete fugazi. So that's why we're allocating more and more into this industry. Much more difficult to manipulate things like Bitcoin than it is the fiat systems that run the world today.
True that.
Yeah. What else do we got here? The orange God King Emperor Trump getting ready to sign an executive order that will fine banks for debanking crypto companies. We all should be familiar with Operation Choke Point back in the Biden era, essentially de facto making it illegal to be a crypto company without making it actually illegal to be a crypto company, using the banks and other non, I guess, federally put forth official regulations to make it nearly impossible for companies to do business in the U.S. So this could be kind of flipping the script on that, now making it a penalty if they are caught discriminating against crypto companies. So one less barrier in the way for the bull market and crypto tech to thrive in the U.S.
I'm just thinking, what's going to happen when Trump goes out of office and he has put all these laws, and then you would have a anti-crypto guy coming in.
Well, let's hope it's JD Vance that takes up over after him. And
I guess it's too late already. Yeah.
Yeah, to a certain extent. I talked about this on another live stream just earlier this week. The main reason that most of the people that are on the left in the US are against crypto right now isn't because they understand crypto or actually give a shit about crypto. The only reason they're against crypto right now is because Orange Man bad and Trump and his administration are pro crypto. So I could definitely see something where, as this continues to get adopted, we've got 3 more years of innovation and growth in the crypto industry. People become more educated. It's going to be continue to be more and more popular with the public in the United States. I think it would be a big mistake on their side not to run someone who's pro crypto as well. And then it's much less of a, Trump isn't running again, right? So they don't have to be, all out anti-Trump when they know he's got 6 months left. He's on his way out. They can then put forward a candidate who is potentially pro crypto from the left, because again, the people on the right and the left, they all get money from these big institutions that are buying shitloads of crypto right now, right? So if they're going in and they're going to try and reverse all of these laws, if you think BlackRock and Fidelity and Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and everybody else that is now jumping all over this crypto bandwagon, that are building stable coins, that are launching ETFs, that are taking the MicroStrategy approach, making these digital asset treasuries. If you think all those guys aren't going to be jumping down the throats of anybody that's going to run for the president or even senator, representative, that's going to try to reverse these laws, in my opinion, we're too ingrained. You've now got the economic machine, globalist economic machine behind the U.S. crypto laws. It's going to be very, very difficult for anybody to try and run against that, whether you're Republican or Democrat.
Everybody wants to make money, man. That's how I look at it. Why fuck with them?
And the people that do make the money give that money to the people that make the laws. So you don't get a lot.
Good old lobbyists.
Exactly. So it's a dirty, dirty system, boys.
It's okay.
We've been talking a lot about IPO news. We are about to put out our weekly newsletter today, a little blurb on the IPO stuff. Obviously, Circle was massive. I don't know how many X's did Circle do from launch, not just from the number they launched at, but from where people were buying in the pre-markets with some of these brokerage firms out there. We were helping fill some Circle orders as well, but really kicked off this IPO trend. More and more Web3 companies are being looked at by the TradFi industry as now a legit way to get funds into the market is doing an IPO. So we've seen Grayscale coming back into talks. I believe BitGo is talking about doing theirs. Kraken is coming up. There's 3 or 4 other major companies. And these are red hot. It's an aspect of the market that you don't look at if you're simply, as a trader or if you're doing pre-sales, early investment advisory. The secondaries and the OTC market are a completely different aspect of the industry, and they are red hot right now, as busy as we've ever seen them. And IPOs, getting your hands on IPOs before they launch is a big one right now. I don't know if we have any of that on our books at the moment, but if that's something you guys are interested, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see what's happening. Like last year, when you had Circle, Kraken, and other equity plays on hand, no one bought them. And then in December, when the IPO things started to heat up, like everyone wanted equities. So it's kind of interesting to see the cycle. Like last year when Bear was, no one wanted it, and now when everything's hot, everyone wants equity.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there was no IPO market before. Like last year was very bad, but this year has been like amazing. Like so many different good IPOs from the TradFi and also from the crypto side.
Yeah, I think it's like most of these trends, and maybe a word of caution here if you are getting into this. We see there'll be some new trend pop up, whatever the first mover is in that space. In this case, Circle goes out there and absolutely crushes. It makes people shitloads of money. Well, then everybody's gonna be looking for, okay, who's the next person that's gonna do this thing? And you start to see these diminishing returns as more and more of these companies start doing that. Market gets oversaturated, diluted, and it kind of washes out. And then we see a new trend. We've seen it, and we saw it with ICOs, with the gaming hype last cycle. We saw it with Social.Fi too many damn times, where some new social app will come out and then people are copying it. Pump Fund is a great example. Pump pops up, does amazing. Then you have 20 other copycats, and again, continuing to diminish returns in every single sector. We see it. So, do I think some of these IPOs can do very well? Yeah, absolutely. But we're starting to see some pretty crazy numbers, pretty crazy valuation numbers. I don't know what's Kraken up to right now. Like
it's like 15 billion. But like all these digital asset plays, like everyone are doing.
Oh, and we lost Jan.
Yeah, I think we lost him.
I think he's still a little ways from civilization right now. Not quite back to. So I think still somewhere out in the woods. But anyways, all right, we'll come back to him in a minute here. But yeah, IPOs, definitely something to keep your eye on. If you're looking to allocate capital to this market, obviously early stage investment, pre-sale are still stone cold. But this is an area, along with M&A, along with OTC, secondaries are doing quite well right now. This is either a heartwarming story or a heartbreaking story, depending on how you look at it. Very famous case of James Howells in the UK. We all know about the 10,000 Bitcoin pizza story. This is another one of the very famous stories about people losing money in the very, very early days. This guy famously had 8,000 Bitcoin on a hard drive. And as he was cleaning his house, I can't remember if he was moving or what, accidentally threw away this hard drive. A hard drive, the 8,000 Bitcoin is now worth just shy of $1 billion. And for the last 12 years, he's been going out every single weekend and digging in his local landfill, trying to find this hard drive. James giving up the 12-year search this last week here. Obviously sad for James. But the silver lining and the happy news for the rest of us, that's $1 billion worth of Bitcoin that ain't ever going to be sold. So two ways to look at it. Sorry, James, sucks to suck, but for the rest of us, that's a 8,000 bit more Bitcoin that's never going to see the light of day. And obviously, joking, we wouldn't wish that on anybody. Some other, some good news for James though. I believe he's got a movie deal in the works and a few other things. So he's not going to get $1 billion out of it, but hopefully he's gonna make a couple million off of this, and it won't be the quite as heartbreaking of a story. But guys, I know that was the early days, but always a good reminder. Not your keys, not your crypto.
That's still a big difference between. That's still a big difference between 2 million and 6 billion.
Of course, a billion versus a couple million. It's still heartbreaking, but better than if he didn't get it. Yeah, he got an article in Cointelegraph, and that's it.
Crazy.
So yeah,
but imagine he was trying it. He was trying to find it for 5 years. Yeah, sorry, I'm lagging a little bit. But yeah, he was trying to find it for a long time.
Yeah, 12 years is long. Digging in his landfill for every weekend for the last 12 years.
Yeah, he should have just bought the landfill. It's like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine a landfill costing $1 billion, maybe.
Yeah.
Good reminder. Make sure you're practicing. You've got multiple backups. If you're storing on a cold wallet, paper wallet, whatever it happens to be, make sure you've got your private keys written down and stored in safe places, not on your computer. I use things like safety deposit boxes. They've got all kinds of new tech where you can have a code hammered out in metal and store it in a fireproof safe. Like, even if you have a smaller amount of Bitcoin or other crypto, this stuff's going to continue to appreciate. You don't want to be 10 years from now sitting on, $500 million that you can't access because you were too lazy to properly, maintain your passcodes. So don't be that guy. Learn from his lesson. We feel sorry for you, James, but hopefully you make out like a bandit on this movie deal.
What is the movie going to be? Just him searching the trash bin?
Bro, who knows? I guess.
2 hours? The fuck?
Yeah, usually those have a happy ending or some kind of conclusion. Maybe the happy ending will be that you got famous and now we're going to do a movie or something. Yeah. Who knows? I thought this story is a fun one for all of the traders out there. Oh, sorry, our video stopped. There we go. Tesla, right now it's currently legal, but they're working on making it legal so you can now play video games while you're in full self-driving mode. Now, the reason I brought this up is because I want to see, fast forward 3 months to 6 months from now when it's legal to be able to doing this. When are we going to start getting the memes of traders driving around with multiple screens in their Tesla, looking at charts and trading while they're making cross-country drives.
That's trippy.
That's gonna be new truck drivers.
I want to see you in 6 months in a Tesla with 5 screens driving around.
I love that. That's my dream right now. That'd be sweet.
What do we got? Fun news, somewhat related to Web3 here. Nancy Portfolio's crypto growing 70% just last year, outperforming every single hedge fund, more than double the Oracle of Omaha, Mr. Warren Buffett. She's got a net worth of $413 million while earning only $174,000 a year in Congress. Caroline Levitt coming out saying not only is this unlikely, it is impossible to do without insider trading. For those of you that don't follow U.S. politics very closely, they're actually in the process of trying to pass a bill literally called the Pelosi bill while she is still a sitting member of Congress, which will prevent people from people in the U.S. government from actively trading stocks for obvious reasons here. Now, I think it's more one of those things to kind of appease the sentiment of people. The actual law itself is going to do very little to prevent insider trading. It basically says that they themselves cannot trade, but what's stopping them from having their sister trade it for them or anybody else, right? So it's not going to fix the problem. I don't know what the best solution is, but I mean we have laws in place. Yeah. I mean we have the laws in place.
Trader.
Investigate people. Well, start there, right? Like when you see someone when you see a single senator who's an absolute bimbo idiot, and she's like half senile, 80 some years old. Her husband's running around his underwear with gay dudes, getting hit in the head with a hammer, and getting multiple drunk driving incidents. And she's like, he's the expert trader. Things don't add up. Maybe look into it. I don't know. They're outperforming Warren Buffett and every other hedge fund in the world. I don't think that the Pelosi's have that edge. I don't know. Maybe investigate. Like, I think that would be a good start instead of passing laws that don't actually do anything. But meantime, a lot of us in the States, still, it's illegal for us to trade crypto or invest in pre-sales. But
we're getting there. Don't worry. We have the new law coming in.
There's hopefully soon. And it looks like the traditional markets are getting more and more degen, looking a lot more like IPOs are starting to look a lot more like IDOs or bundled meme coin launches. Figma recently did an IPO. Figma, for those of you not aware, it's a tech development service that kind of allows you to pre-build websites, pre-build digital asset or digital images online to show people what it would look like, clients or what it would look like without having to actually go and build out the code. Anyways, very popular tech tool. But apparently the CEO funding his own company so that insiders can get a better entry, 60% of supply in early employees' hands. No lockup or vesting on the tokens or shares. Lined up KOLs to bull post launch and then dumped on retail after a 5x. Sounds a lot like a meme coin launch to me, not an IPO on the US regulated US markets. Pretty wild stuff. I mean, are we just going to?
This is why we have stocks coming into crypto.
Yeah,
it's all the big play.
Oh, God.
I mean, at some point, Web 2 and Web 3 are just going to be fully merged. I think there's some good things there, and there's also some bad things. Like, I don't think we want, NASDAQ companies to be acting like, pump fund shitters on Solana. That's it's going to has the potential for some economic instability. What else? This is actually pretty bullish here. South Korea passing major tokenized security laws. Banks cannot tokenize bonds, stocks, private equity on blockchain. Asia dominating RWA. South Korea has been a very, very interesting one. Very high adoption rate. A lot of people in Korea using blockchain, buying crypto assets, but also they're extremely regulated and isolated in terms of what they can buy, who they work with, etc. Anybody out in this region knows it's often difficult to work with some of the Korean companies because they typically only work with other Korean companies. I think a lot of that has been due to the regulatory framework within South Korea, being very, very strict in terms of the financial laws of who can invest in what, etc. This is a great step in the right direction for seeing the Korean market kind of being opened up to the rest of the world, both for people wanting to come into the Korean market as well as for that exposure from the Korean economy to the broader Web3 ecosystem.
Yeah, I think one of our lovely employees was saying that the Korean exchanges are now offering better APY than the banks. So the adoption is very big. So I think this is bullish. I think like Asian countries overall compared to Europeans are very ahead in technology. Like when I go to Hong Kong, Singapore, everything works with the card, everything works with apps and so forth. When I come back to Europe, it's more cash economy and less apps. So yeah, going digital, I understand it totally.
Heading in the right direction. Excuse me, anything else you guys have seen in the headlines this week you wanted to cover? I've got a few other very minor stories we can look at, but I don't know if I missed anything, major headlines over the weekend that you guys wanted to look at.
No,
I think it's important. Yeah, I think we would be good to go over the ETF flows. Let me send it here, just so people understand like a bit more what's happening on the ETF side.
Yeah, July was an absolute. Yeah, July was an absolute heater for the inflows. Things have definitely slowed down coming into August here, as you can see here. 600, 400, 500, 500, 450, 218, and then now towards the end of the month, 5.8, 17, August 1st, negative 150, August 4th, negative 465. So yeah, things dropping off, slow, cooling off in a big way here. But I don't think I don't know about you guys, but don't think that's the end of these ETF flows.
No, not at all. But like we saw this happening also last year, just before Trump got elected, and after Trump got elected, there was a lot of inflows at first, then outflows, and after that, a lot of mega inflows. So I think the same pattern will happen now. I truly believe that hey, this dump was very good for us, and there's good positions now. And after this, I think we're gonna be seeing like a lot more flows, a lot.
Yeah, all the companies that have been buying haven't changed their narrative. The for the institutional or the Ethereum strategic reserve types that are coming in. I imagine a lot of them are buying through these ETFs. But outside of that, even if a lot of this ETF is driven by, let's say, retail or people buying for retail, retirement funds, etc. They're following what a lot of these big guys that are these institutional buyers are doing. Those guys ain't going anywhere anytime soon. These are long-term holders. They're looking to buy it. They're looking to stake it, take the yield off the staking and watch it appreciate over the next 10, 20 years. So I think this is just getting started here.
Yeah, I think that's good. We're at 40 minutes. Damn.
Yeah, I'll say one quick story I know everybody's excited for. Justin Sun finally getting to go to space.
Fuck it out.
The pinnacle of our
I was
industry.
surprised he didn't promote any meme coin or
Tron?
or Tron. Yeah.
I'm surprised too, actually.
No.
He wasn't pushing old Sundog or anything.
He's just living life.
Well, yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. I think that's about all we got for today. Give us a like, give us a share, leave us a comment. Just something you want us to cover next week. Could be a chart. We've got our chart master, Andrew, here. If you got a chart request, drop it in there. If you got some stories you want us to cover, if you got some issues you want us to discuss, let us know. And if you're in the market for M&A or OTC, we are your one-stop shop for all of the above. You can find us, message us on X. You can find us on via our website. We've got multiple forms on there you can fill out to get in contact with us, or you can get us on Telegram, probably the easiest and fastest way. If you want to do that, you should be able to find us pretty easily via any of our YouTube, Twitter, all of the above.
Please like and share.
Yeah, we'll see you on Friday. Well, they will see you on Friday. I am going to be gone. I am have some going to be off for the next 10 or so days, so I will catch up with you guys when we get back, and I'll leave it in the very capable hands of Jan and Andrew in the meantime.
Sounds good, guys.
All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you.
See you next week.